The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Get ready to be amazed. Get ready to know things that are usually unknowable. Get ready for an hour of insight and fascinating entertainment with Dr. Linda Salvin. For nearly 3 decades, Dr. Linda has been one of America's most celebrated psychic readers, metaphysical clinicians, and unmatched talk show hosts, bringing insights and solutions to thousands of people worldwide. Pull up a chair, turn it up, and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Starlight Café. I am Dr. Linda Salvin, your host every Tuesday on Transformational Tuesday, Wednesday with Candy Finnegan on Recovery Wednesday, and of course Thursday I do the Starlight Café. What is the Starlight Café? Well, that show, or this show, was born in 1994 when I started on AM and FM radio, and then I ended up on a national system where I was in 400 markets, and I needed to have a name for the show, which actually started on AM when I had a little loop of a cafe going behind the show where people could hear like coffee and chatter and dropping of utensils. And I created the cafe, which is where you're the star of the Starlight Cafe. And each Thursday, when I produce the show and record the show, I bring on guests or musicians. People have had readings, healings, or channelings with me, and they can tell their own experience so that you can learn that I am a true psychic healer and medium. They will share their book, or I've got a comedian coming on who's very famous and had worked with Frank Sinatra. There's a lot of fun people. So it's the Starlight Cafe where you're the star. And if you do the candles, or you've had a reading, or you've had a channeling session with me and you want to be on the show, then just send me an email at drlinda@lindasalvin.com. Today I have a guest. His name is Tony Flowers, and he's been a client of mine for at least 10, 12 years. I've done a lot of work with him. I've watched him jump his career around. I mean, he's huge in the health industry. He is an executive. Come on stage. Let's bring on Tony. Hey, there's Tony. Look at that smile. There, you got like this little boy thing going in your smile in your eyes. I can see it. It's so nice to have you here. We talk on the phone forever, and it's been a back and forth kind of relationship because most of my work is by phone where I don't see the people. And I started working with Tony before the Zoom days, Yeah. So, Tony, give a little background about your health career. And I know you're married and you've got a life, but you're very busy in the health industry. So as a health executive, tell us what you do, how you got involved, and let's see where you're headed.
Yeah, I've been in healthcare now for about 30 plus years. And I started back in 1981. And so it's just been a very positive and very encouraging career. I've met a lot of people. I helped a lot of people. I've went from managing, working in the warehouse and, going to night school, and then actually moving to Texas from Florida, becoming a warehouse supervisor, and then moving from that to becoming a manager in healthcare from supply chain perspective, and then moving from supply chain manager to a director, then a corporate director, then a market director, then another market.
Wow, you worked your way up.
Yes, I've managed anywhere upwards of about 17 locations.
Are they hospitals and healthcare centers?
Yes, hospital.
You do more hospital administration, right?
Hospital supply chain.
Yeah, the supply chain with the hospitals, because my background is public health, and one of the disciplines in the public health school was hospital administration. And my background, I studied the environmental health and epidemiology but it's all part of helping people with health and wellness. And on a structured level with all of the people you've managed and the departments and the flying around and the communications, you've done really well. But then there's the personal side of Tony.
Yes. Yes.
So the personal side is married. You've got a lot of insight. You're extremely sensitive. You're very motivated. How did you come across a psychic? How did you find me? And have you always had a passion for spirituality or the unknown, the untangible things that you can't really touch, but you needed help with? How did all that happen?
Yeah, I pride myself on meditating, and meditating and just kind of realigning, because everything to me is about, the physical. You have these challenges, but then when you get home, you need to decrease. And so you have to try to take your mind off, because I'm a thinker and I'm always thinking. Even when I'm homeless, I have to find a way to find myself to kind of relax.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Yeah. I was just going through one day and I saw your website online. I was just Googling and I saw your website online. And it was with Chris
Jenner. Yeah. When I did my infomercial. Yeah.
Yes. And he was talking about candles and psychic reading and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I've always been into candles. And so first thing I did was, I'm going to call Dr. Linda, order candles, and I'm going to put it to the test. And see what this thing can do. And so, although.
Were you skeptical at the beginning?
I was kind of, because coming from a faith background, grew up Baptist, and then I visited all sorts of churches, religious churches.
You're the seeker.
LDS to Lutheran to Catholic to Presbyterian to Methodist. And so besides that, I just wanted to have a spiritual connection. And so I believe in, people don't realize the energy that you put out in the world, it comes back to you. And so when I started burning you, when I ordered the candle, I was so excited to get your candles and the oil. And the oil to me was the
Here's what Tony's talking about, folks. Yeah. You get 4 bottles of essential oil along with 3 candles, depending on what the job is. So go on, and then you get your herbs and you get your powders, and then you have to write the petitions. Go on, you're doing great.
Yeah. And so I take pride in writing my petition. I write my petition after your guidance on how to write the petition. You show me, give me some pointers on how to write. What you want to be specific about what you're writing, because you just don't want to put anything out there. Then you put that in your whole process that you showed me and walked me through the first time, and then it just bedded in my mind. So each time I couldn't wait to reorder.
I've been doing it for like 10 years or longer now. I need this, I need that.
Yeah, and the weird part about it was because when I started meditating, and then I started concentrating and then burning those candles, because it started clearing a lot of the air. It started clearing a lot of the
negativity,
the
obstacles.
Areas.
Yeah.
And like I said, everything is spiritual. And, you put that out there and it started cleansing that air. And then all of a sudden I started getting all these calls about opportunities. And it was it was like it was seamless when I would get these calls. I would go meet with these people and it's like I was in. And I was like, man, these things work. And then I have a very close relationship, a family member that has some blood issues.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Linda,
bleeding.
The 3 of us connected with her. And then next thing you know, we started meditating, started burning these candles, started putting that petition out there. And before you know it, that blood issue was gone.
Let me go a little bit deeper. The phone's ringing in the background. Just ignore it. Sorry, I didn't turn it off. The situation here, folks, is that Tony knew somebody that actually needed a hysterectomy and was bleeding vaginally. And I'm not God, and I don't attest to the candles always working because they're alleged. It's spiritual. You can't put a tag on something spiritual because you can't touch it. But I can help with the candles. And what we did was some good luck power to move the blocks, obstacles, negativity. And then with the health and wellness power, we did what Tony's saying. I dictated the words that go in the petition, which I don't put out on the air. And then what happens is with the oils, herbs, and powders and the candle, just so that you know, and you've heard me say this before, in Kabbalah, the candle represents the soul of man, and the wick, when it's lit, is the flame, which is light, which is God. So we're feeding God our needs, our wishes, whatever the petition. And eventually his relative stopped bleeding, did not need surgery. That's the magic of Wicks of Wisdom. I don't say everybody will heal, but more times than not, thankfully, they're powerful enough because it's a different type of formula than anything out on the market that's real. There's thousands of candle lines now. When I got started, there were very few. But you got to be careful of the charlatans and the ones that have a weaker potential or oil or whatever. Not all of them are going to work. But the main thing is your relative is healthy. Your jobs have changed. You're healthy. You've gone through some stressful times where you were hitting the wall, Tony, and doors would open and another door would shut. And he's so tenacious, folks, that he's like me. You push and push and push till you got to get pushed out to say, try the next door. Something else will open up. Because when you're working so hard and you're dedicated, sometimes we're around people in the community or the office or the corporate structure that don't see eye to us, but we know what we see and feel, and sometimes we're not respected that way. So sometimes it's easier for us working to leave them and find what's more compatible for each individual. And that's what Tony has done. It's like, it's not you. I kept saying, Tony, it's not you, it's them. And I mean, there was one time, I think you had like 17 hospitals or something. I mean, man, you were on the go all the time, you know, and you're smart. And you're dedicated, and unfortunately you're not the CEO, but you're getting closer to a more recognized level. People hear you now. People respect you now differently.
And I speak to all the C-suite folks every day. I have COOs that I'm working with, and they come to me when they can't go to other directors to get things done because they know I'll make it happen. I don't. You're
the conduit. You're dedicated. You are dedicated.
And people don't realize supply chain. We touch everybody in the hospital, in the clinics, whatever it is. We have that connection.
So when you say supply chain, is that everything from the gowns to the utensils to the Q-tips to the food to the trays?
Everything from service to contracts to medical supplies to capital equipment.
If there was none of that, there'd be no operations. There'd be nothing. Even probably computers, right? Everything.
There's three areas in healthcare that they always monitor from C-suite and a corporate perspective, and it uses labor costs, pharmaceuticals, and medical supply costs. And so it tells everyone how important medical supply chain is to organizations and to
it's not just the doctor and the patient.
Exactly.
Right? It's not just the doctor and the patient.
That's right.
You know, in 1981, when you got started in the health industry, that was the year I was in the plane crash when I became psychic. So talking about the supply chain, let me relate my story, which you will understand for the listener to identify. Then we'll go back to your experience with the readings and the candles. But February 17th, 1981 was the day of the plane crash. I was up in San Jose, California. I was doing environmental health consulting for an insurance company. And one of our clients was the hospital, which you would understand because we had to go check the ethylene oxide levels to make sure it was within the parameters of OSHA to not overexpose the doctors, the nurses, the aides, and the patients, because there's rules and regulations as to how much toxicity we can inhale, right? So we had our little sampling units, and we went to the autoclave, which is the unit that is used to sterilize the equipment, right? So you know all of this.
That's right.
We told those people, please don't, we told the nurses, the staff, and whoever else was there, please don't open the autoclave door because we're running a sample for 4 hours. We went back at the 2-hour check mark. Somebody had opened and validated our whole sampling process. And we went back to San Jose Airport a little early, took the flight back. Plane crash landed when I
Wow.
Came back home. Yeah, but sitting in the coffee shop is when I had my first premonition. And I was sitting this way looking at my partner, and I looked at the plane. I said, doesn't it look like it's going to crack there? And I saw a fuelage or an exhaust settlement on the body of the plane, and that's where we cracked in half upon landing. Yes, we all survived, but that was February of 81. The same, I was 27, so we're looking 42 years ago now, Tony. You've come a long way. Career is a lifelong journey. You know, and you go, like you said, starting in the warehouse, you worked your way up, you went back to school, you climbed the corporate wheel because that's who you are. You're succeeding. There's still more for you.
That's right.
But you look back, and we all have these time frames. Okay, where were you in 81? Oh, I started this job. Where were you? Oh, that's when I was in the plane crash, you know, and you bring your lives together and somehow we meet. And that's the metaphysics of life, being on the path, the journey. Somehow I went through all that to create all I did for people like you to find me, for me to help. And my help helps you get to where you want to go.
That's right. And 1981, I'll always remember that because that's you got graduated from high school, but also as the first.
You graduated high school in 81?
Yes.
And I graduated in 71. So I'm at least 10 years ahead of you. Okay, go on.
Right. And the weird part about it, that's the first time I was able to vote. And
wow.
My first president I ever voted for, I always remember this, was Ronald Reagan.
And 1980, 81. Yeah. Yep, you're right. That was 1981. And look at that. Look where we are now.
Yeah. And I was the only person in my family that voted Republican.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, my family is pretty much Democrat, but I find myself being more of a conservative Democrat, a Reagan conservative Democrat, you know. So
it's different now. I mean, I don't want to get into politics as to Republican, Democrat. I just don't think it's the parties are not like they were when we were growing up. You could feel and see and hear the difference in the parties. It's so enmeshed right now, but that's another show. If you want to do that, we could do that some other time.
So reverting back to the candles, one of the things I have to remind people is everything is about belief. You can burn whatever you want. I burn candles without the oil sometimes, but before I met Dr. Linda. But when I met Dr. Linda, I started buying her candles and her oil.
That's the magic. It's in the oils and the petition. Candles work, but this enhances.
And one of the things I changed, I started realizing and started changing my mindset that I started believing when I burn these things and I put my petition out there, it's going to happen.
It will. And the thing is, even if you're a skeptic, you don't have to believe in Wicks of Wisdom. You don't have to believe they're going to work because they're going to do what they're going to do. And as you've learned, there's big flames, little flames, smoky candles, no smoke. They crack, they ooze, they have a life of their own. And sometimes in meditation, or if you're just sitting and watching it, you can look at the ceiling and you see it flickering. You can feel the energy, you know, if it's your good luck or the money or the health. Go ahead.
And you're right about that, because once I bought the candles, then I use my phone, I had my iPad, and then I started researching burning candles. So, because I wanted to verify what you was telling me that was true. And just like you just stated, it'll tell you when you research it, you can tell if you have negative energy in your home by if the candles burn light or if it burn high, because if it's burning high, that means that it's going out there searching for all that negative energy.
It works harder. Yep.
It's working harder. And you can actually look at that candle and you can
the flame,
the flame of the candle, and you can speak to it. If you concentrate on it enough and put
it'll move. It'll flicker. Yeah. It hears you. Yeah. Yep. That's the fun part. I'm glad you've learned how to work and talk to, because a lot of times I'll put one in the kitchen. I've got 5 or 10 in a shower because I work for the people when they pay me. So I got candles all the time, but it's the work involved is dressing the candles, the oils, herbs, and powders, writing the petition, knowing what to write, who it's directed to, how it's burning, and all of that. So it's a process. It's a dedicated process, and it's going to take some time. But over the 3 weeks, things start to change. And after they're done is when things really start to kick in. It's like, oh, it must have been the candles. Right, Tony?
That's right. And let me answer this. Let me say this, because I know I grew up with strong faith. And I know people out there is going to say, well, if you pray, you ask God to do all these things, you don't need nothing else. It's no different than, okay, I have total faith in my Lord, Savior Jesus Christ. But I also know that there's other things outside of my realm, just like no more than going to peer and say, hey, can you help me with a connection into a job in a hospital? It's the same thing. Burning that candle, lighting that candle, I kind of override.
You opened doors and got through some of the obstacles that were facing you.
That's right.
Prayer works, of course, prayer works.
And work behind the scenes of things that we can't see, we can't touch, we can't feel.
That's the spiritual.
It has nothing to do. It's not impeding on my faith whatsoever.
No. And as I've always said, religion and spirituality are not the same. You can do both.
That's right.
You can believe in whatever God you want. We all get to the same God. However, there's 3,500 religions, and you've tested a lot of them. And I love the Baptist churches. I've been to Asian churches, and I've been to Catholic. I've been to Christian. I've been to, well, of course, I'm Jewish. But everybody has a different feeling or a different ritual on how to present the same message. That's right. So it depends how it vibrates in your heart and your soul and what you want. Religion's over here, but it's also man-made, and there's different rules and regulations. Like if you want to divorce in that religion, you can't, but in that religion you can. Or if you don't eat it gets a little complicated depending on who's giving the ceremony or the presentation of what they're trying to say for the spiritual message. I take away all of the religious aspect. Metaphysically, metaphysics is the combination of spirituality and psychology. When I was trained in candle magic in 1999, I was trained to help people, just like Tony and all of you out there that I've been working with since all these years, 27 years or so, to accelerate not just the prayer, but it takes it to the next level, whether it's your love life for soulmate, if it's good luck power, remove blocks, obstacles, negativity, curses, and bad luck. That's kind of the dark energy we were talking about with Tony, because we all get stuck, or, oh, I think I need a new job, or this one's I'm not communicating with, I don't know that I belong in this corporate wheel anymore. Well, then let's just open a new door, Tony. Okay, we send him another set, and all of a sudden he got a new job. How does it work? We don't know. That's why it's magic. But it's oils and the petition, and it's God. It's all spiritual, and spirituality you can't touch. We can use butterflies as a symbol, or you can smell the beautiful aroma, or watch the movement of the flame. Yes, but how is it all working? That, okay, Tony's in a job, he wants more money, he wants to relocate or have a different position, and all of a sudden the doors are blocked and the walls are there. Light a couple candles, and all of a sudden, hey, I just got a job interview. Well, what do you think, Tony? What are we going to do in this one? Or how come your relative, all of a sudden the bleeding stopped? I mean, that's without surgery. I'm not saying every single situation that comes to me is going to happen like that, but more times than not. This is powerful stuff, people. I don't sell snake oil. And just like Tony was saying, yes, a lot of people who are religious, I've had people yell at me that I'm doing the work of the devil. I got the blood of Jesus on my hands. I've heard it all. And they don't understand it's a tool to help. I took away the occult. I made it mainstream. My candles are really based on Santeria and Kabbalah, and I combine formulas. I don't sacrifice animals or anything. It's just some of the technique or theory, but they're wicks of wisdom for everybody. And if you apply them, I think you've done harmony power to bring in some peace and harmony at times. I know you've done soulmate. I know you've done mostly the good luck and the money, which has been your favorites, because that's what you really needed. But the beauty is, in all these years, each time you burn them, you go to another level. They work. They open up doors.
Yes, they do. And people that have a negative approach or mindset with opportunities and things, well, you'll never be able to encourage them and influence them, because their mindset is stopping them from being open and growing. Not everything is just so black and white.
No, it's not.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they was talking about, why do you burn candles? And I mean, it smells nice and this and that. I was like, well, it's just like no different than, I hate to be graphic, but
That's okay.
if someone let out, some unforeseen smell in your place,
Yeah.
are you just gonna let it simmer, or are you gonna get some disinfectant and cleanse it?
I've never had my candles related to a fart before, but I think that's where you're going. But okay, I said it for you. It's my
Yes,
show.
but
Yeah, no, it's a
that's the
little
point.
different. There's a little bit of
It
magic
goes
there,
out
but
there.
it's still,
goes
it
out
works.
there, and it cleans that environment that you can't see.
Right, just like our body has to release the gas that we can't see, but that's, everybody's embarrassed, but we all do it. We all snore, we all fart, we all burp, but we're human, and when we're in public, and even when you're in a new relationship, you want to pretend you don't, because what are they going to think? You don't want to go to the bathroom. We're so insecure as being people, but at the same time, we all do the same thing. And you're right, with the candles, it's a whole nother, it's a tool. It's a tool. Some people need laxatives as a tool. You see it in the hospitals. I'm sure you have to buy that too,
Yes.
or suppositories. Every doctor, everything. You're behind all the people, Tony. Without you, the hospitals don't run. They're
That's right.
all needing you. You're part of the main part of the wheel, like you said.
And that's, it's so funny that you say that, because I tell people all the time. Remember that old commercial, State Farm had the hands under the house.
Allstate, yep.
Yeah, Allstate, where they hold the house up.
Right.
Well, we are in supply chain. We're those hands that's holding that building up, because everything that building needs comes to our department, require our involvement as a service department.
And everything you need on a personal level, you come back to me. I'm not saying you don't do other things, but this is how we all help each other. I help him on the human personal level. He's helping hundreds at the corporate level to keep the hospital going. God forbid you or a relative have to go to the hospital. Somebody's going to admit you. Someone's got to have the computer. Someone's got to get you to the ER. Somebody's got to take your blood pressure. Somebody's got to take your temperature. So you're buying the thermometers and the sheets and the beds. And
right.
We don't think about how you build the house, just like the house. You're right. Same thing with candles. How do we build your spirituality? Same thing. Everything has a foundation and a formula and a ritual and a process. So I take it to the minuscule level of a person's life. That's you people who are listening to the show or have known me. And like Tony's, that show hit in 2008. So we go back at least 14 years, probably 15, with the infomercial that is on my YouTube channel at Dr. Linda Salvin. I did hire Kris Jenner back in 2006 when we filmed that thing. She was paid to be the spokesperson. And then, of course, she went on to get Keeping Up with the Kardashians and all that. But she was hired by my company to host this show that Tony's alluding to, which is the infomercial that caught his eye, that got him to work with me all these years. Now, the thing is, somebody like Tony, if they didn't work, he's not going to come back 10 years later. He's not going to keep going back for more if it doesn't taste good or feel good or work, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Talk about that, because it's just like a job. If it does, the patient may not come back. The doctor doesn't want to work. It's the same thing. Why are you going to buy a product over and over again if it doesn't work?
That's right.
You're not.
One thing I'm not going to do is waste my money on things that doesn't work, doesn't benefit me. If I go in a restaurant and I'm seated and I don't get the service, because I can cook my own food. But if I'm going there for service, and so if I'm seated and I don't get the service I need, you don't have to worry about. I'm not going to fight and argue with you. I'm not going to go through this thing of protesting and all this. I just won't go back and spend my money, because that's my choice.
Right.
When I come back to Dr. Linda and I buy and I rebuy and I repurchase and I tell other people about it, it's up to them. I can give you the road to, what helped me. If you don't want to go down that road, that's your choice. And to me, I know it works for me. To me, it's not impeding on my religion. It's not impeding on my faith.
No.
All it's doing is helping me in a different way.
That's beautiful, realm. Tony. I'm glad to hear that, because a lot of people who will hear this later or watch need to hear this because they get confused that I'm, like I said, I'm doing the work of the devil and all this stuff. They don't understand. It's not harmful. It's positive and it's in alignment with God, whatever your God is. We all have a God. We all call it something different, but at the end, we're still figuring out our way to God before we die. God's will is to see us at peace as best we can on this crazy planet and do our part and help other people and not be harmful. We've got the other side of the planet that's out to destroy, but we can't fix everything, but we can fix ourselves. And I'm about helping the person.
And one of the things, Dr. Linda, and I've never told her this, and I'm being 100% honest and genuine, I've never gotten an ill feeling, an ill spirit that came from her to me, between her and me, as far as whenever we will communicate or whenever I call her or go online and I want to buy her product. I never felt like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing or felt guilty about
Thank
what
you.
I'm doing, because I always felt like whenever I call her, now she's busy and she's going to be to the point that she's going to say, well, tell me what you need. And I like that because that's how I am. And it's just, and sure enough, I can expect it within, if I place an order today, I can expect my order within 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, we get them out within a week, the best we can. I don't like to wait. Yeah,
that's right. Whoever packed those items that come from your place,
I train girls to pack for me.
They are well packed because I open boxes throughout the day from different UPS.
Oh, that's true, don't you?
And those things.
Thank you.
Well back. You don't ever have to worry about your product being damaged or your product being, it's something's missing out of the package or whatever. I always got what I ordered in a timely manner. And there's always, and if I have
You're hired. You're now my PR person.
And I can always call Dr. Linda and say, hey, something happened or whatever, and she'll always respond to me. And that's what I like about you as a business owner, as a consultant, as a person I admire and respect, and I'll always keep coming back and doing business with you.
Well, thank you. Wow, that's quite an honor. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that, because a lot of people will burn one set of candles and get angry because they didn't get everything. So they don't come back because they think one set's going to change and build Rome in a day. And it doesn't work that way.
No,
it's a process.
No, it doesn't work like that.
And then there's those that just want to talk, don't want to pay, just want to steal my information. Then I get tired, or I get bitchy, really, because it's like, I'm giving you, but you haven't even offered to pay. Or then they go, why do you have to charge if you got a gift from God? And I said, well, John Lennon had a gift from God. You've got a gift from God. We've all got a gift. This is how I make a living, helping people. But the fact that you acknowledge and can share this from your heart, because I know your sensitive side, I really appreciate hearing that. And I used to pack in beautiful boxes, and at this point we just put it in a USPS box. You get the basics. We don't need the frilly box right now, and it may go back to repackaging. But I appreciate you saying that, because the boxes work. You get 3 candles in bubble wrap. We do what's called the burrito. And the burrito has all your oils, herbs, and powders wrapped in bubble wrap. We're using pink bubble wrap like Barbie. And it's all simple. And then you call back for your petition consultation, like Tony was just saying, where depending on, I could do the same type of, say, good luck power 7 times in one day, but each of the 7 people have a different target goal. So I have to personalize it so everybody learns. And once you learn, you may or may not need my help, because you'll know what to do. But like I said, you get your oils, the herbs, you get the candles. I've put together a set. You can buy them online at lindasalvin.com. You can go to all the different platforms and see other people's candle magic. But I've tried them, people. They don't work the same. They're not as powerful. You do what you want. I've had people, unfortunately, go to somebody on YouTube, and she called to say, I need your candles. I think I'm in trouble. I said, what's wrong? Well, she did some type of money thing, and somebody came and stole her car the next day. So whether that was related or it was more negative than positive, I said, well, that's not what's going to happen here. But I have helped people clean up what they thought they were getting with other lines. And there's videos out there on my stuff. And if you order, you will find a certain page where my videos are there on the Wicks of Wisdom. And I talk about, go buy anybody else's candles, but you're going to see results with mine in a way others just don't deliver. And then it's people like Tony for 10, 12 years that come back for more because they work, like a prescription for your soul.
That's right. And one of the things that when you get your package, I don't care what kind of box they come in. I'm not concerned about the box. It's about the products in the box, the quality of the product that's in the box. And the products are well packaged. Nothing has never leaked in any of the boxes. We do. We tighten the caps. We make sure. My girl Lisa says I'm making sure. Once in a while, a candle will arrive cracked. I ask people just go to the 99-cent store because it costs like $25 to send one candle out in the mail these days when you can just go get one for $1. You're not paying for the candles, people. The oils, as Tony has used, as I said, you get 4 bottles. Like this is the formula for good luck power. So here is let me see what I have here. Here's good luck. Yeah, this is good luck power. No, this is money. No, this one's actually for our soulmate because I'm looking at this pink instead of the red. There's different colors of oils. Over here's the red. You're actually getting 2 ounces of oil. When we did the infomercial, you give enough oil. Yep. You got some left over if you want. Yeah. The candles, and you get enough to do. You could put it in another candle. You can put it in your bath. You can put it on your skin. It's not going to harm you. It'll help attract or dispel whatever you're working on. But yeah, you get your 4 bottles. Each is a ½ ounce. When we did the infomercial, people got 2 ounces of full bottles. It's all the same oil formula. But as Tony has learned, and I'm sure your wife, has she watched you do all of it, or does she participate? Does she believe in it as well? She does. Well, we was doing it together at one point, and then I just stayed with it once she got, Yeah. So yeah, she got what she wanted. You guys moved. And with it, and because I know I see the benefit, and I witnessed the benefit of using products. And well, if you're opening boxes all the time, from toilet paper to needles to syringes to stethoscopes to uniforms to the nightgowns to God knows what you're in charge of in a hospital, Band-Aids. Yes. Even the Band-Aid, right? Or the little butterfly Band-Aids versus the long Band-Aid versus a gauze. I mean, you've got to know everything in inventory. So yes, you open up boxes. And some people, when I buy, I'm shocked at how they quote packed to get it to me. And then I look at what I'm doing. I did it mostly to save some costs because everything's expensive. People don't understand. You got to pay for the bottle, pay for the cap, pay for the bubble wrap, pay for the candles, pay for the paper, pay, and then the postage, which I'm including now to help everybody, because with inflation, I'm doing the best I can to keep it economical. And people go, why are candles so expensive? Well, as you and I know, if we burn some of the lesser ones, there's no reaction. It's almost worth it because they work and the energy and the job continues for quite a while. It's not like you burn on Thursday, you're done in 3 weeks, and then you need more, unless it's a real difficult case, which I think you've seen that as well. Well, the simple answer to that is, people saying, well, why it's so expensive? What have you ever acquired or purchased that was really cheap, of quality, and you were satisfied with? You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. I have to buy everything. Got to make a little bit of a profit, but I want people to see the results and come back for more. And it's people like you that do, because you understand it and you benefit from it, and I give discounts, if you need a discount, no problem. Just speak up. Hey, what you got? Or right now for the holidays, I'll probably buy one, get one at half off. If you want to, stock up, that's fine. But the main thing is I want to see you reach your goal, whether it's getting a new job, an interview, more passion in a relationship, selling a house, buying a house, investing, taking a vacation, health issues, losing weight, gaining weight, bringing down blood pressure, whatever. I had one girl do the health and wellness that had skin cancer. That went away.
Mother had a back problem when she was dancing on Broadway, did the health and wellness, her back pain went away, just like with your relatives.
Yeah.
It works. And even if you don't believe, it will work.
And the thing about it is, we all, if you're trying to achieve any type of success, whatever it is, no matter what field you're in, everyone is looking for an edge. Everyone's looking for what makes me stand out a little bit more than the next guy. And to me, I've always felt like, okay, I pray, I fast, I try to eat right, I try to live right, this and that. But then I have this part that helps me also, because
your prayer, your meditation, your faith, and your spirit.
That positive energy, that positive connection, that helping me is just that little edge that I'm looking for with that. It's unseen, unknown.
And a lot of people are afraid of it, or a lot of people poo-poo it, and then they don't understand it, and I know on TikTok, which is, I'm not there yet, but there's a lot of people bashing Wicks of Wisdom because they take a piece of Kris Jenner as the witch and how she did this stupid commercial years ago. And then I go on, I say, that's not true. I can't defend myself and all these TikTokers. But when the real people get out there, then they start to learn that this is real and not just some crazy idea, because they don't realize Santeria is a religion. Kabbalah is a spiritual theory in the Jewish religion, which is older than God itself almost. Because one of the stories I've always told, my rabbi had passed away about 8 years ago, but when I was studying Kabbalah, there's a passage in the book about candles. And that's where I learned Chakma, which means the spirit of God in a candle and the soul and all that. And I said, oh, Rabbi. He goes, yes, Linda, it came from somewhere, because it's not like I made it up. I didn't make it up. Santeria is around 3,000 years. Everybody's got techniques. Just like in the infomercial, It says, when did you have your first real candle magic experience? Well, when you were a year old and your mother gave you a candle and said, blow out the flame and make a wish on your birthday.
That's right.
We've been doing it forever. This just makes it a little more personalized for your goals.
And even though my association introduction to you and the candles were through a commercial with Kris, that has no bearing on my ability, my thinking of whether or not I like the product. I like to keep buying the product.
Yeah, no, she has nothing to do. She's a high fan.
I can care less about what Kris and what she's doing at this point in time. I respect what they're doing, but it's what I do is not predicated on my introduction to seeing how she was working with you on this product.
Yeah, she was hired, just like you hire people in your departments or for marketing or whatever.
Whatsoever to purchase and to continue purchasing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm a believer in this product, and I will always buy this product from this day on. Because it to me, I've witnessed myself how.
I'm going to ask for your permission. I'm either going to take this whole show and stick it on my website, or edit parts of it to put on the Wicks of Wisdom page.
Yes.
And help others here, and then get them to the sale page. I think this is the one I need as a little testimonial guide. Tony and I didn't rehearse this, folks. This is the first time we've actually seen each other face to face after all these years of talking on the phone. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Or here's an email, or sorry to bother you so late at night, or whatever. But yeah, when you need something, I show up.
That's right. And one thing I do know, I know Dr. Linda's voice. So when she calls me, I may not know her number, but I know her voice. Oh, this is Dr. Linda. Hey,
hi, how you doing? Here I am. I try to keep it fun.
One other time, I believe maybe one other time when maybe I FaceTime you and mistaken, or probably not. I don't think we've ever. Is this the first time let's see it?
I think this is the first time. I do. I can't. May have.
Yeah.
But I think this is our first time really meeting in person, eye to eye, even though it's on StreamYard, which is like Zoom.
I know what it is. I saw your picture on the internet.
I'm all over the infomercial or my newsletters or something. Yeah. Or are you on Facebook? I can find you on Facebook. No, you're smart. You're smart, because that's a whole nother monkey. But the fact that you've had so much success with Wicks of Wisdom is why I keep doing it, because it's like you keep doing your job because you see the benefit that people derive from your work. And like if the CEOs can't get the help they need, they go to you. You're the specialist.
That's
When
right.
you need something, it's like if you have a toothache, you go to the dentist. If you have if you're pregnant, you go to the OBGYN. If you've got a heart problem, you go to the cardiologist. With me spiritually, I'm a metaphysician, and my background's epidemiology, and I wanted to be a hospital epidemiologist, but they would only want the nurses. They wanted RNs out here in California. So I just got my MPH in epidemiology, and back then they wanted to have a nurse, which didn't make sense. But nosocomial infections, which is for the listener, a nosocomial infection is an infection that takes place in a patient while they're there. They get another infection from the hospital. My job, what I wanted to do was go track that down to keep it even healthier.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm sure you deal with all that as well, besides the monitoring of the cleansing, especially through COVID. You must have seen even more problems because you were locked down, or the people were there with the ventilators and the masks. It was probably
we went from all the disasters, from Ebola to COVID it was just nuts, the amount.
Did you get sick at all, or did you stay safe?
I've never gotten any effect.
You're protected. You're really protected, Tony.
Yep. And so but my job here as supply chain director was making sure that my customers have what they need to protect themselves from those in our community,
right,
to the hospital.
Right.
So it was just so weird that I was fortunate because I planned in my previous job in the mountains. Basically, I had enough supplies to where PPE supplies during the start and the peak of COVID, where I was providing enough for the hospital completely, but also I had enough to give to the fire department, the police department,
wow, that's great,
and surrounding clinics. And so it was just, they all were very thankful and appreciative. And
you're right in the hub of being of service to helping other people.
That's right.
That's your thing. Right. It's in your heart. You're a good guy, and you're not. It's like with me. I'm fulfilled when I'm giving. I'm fulfilled when I hear thank you. I'm fulfilled when I hear, well, I want more because they work. I'm fulfilled when I've touched another person's life. Then there's other people. It's like, go jump off go jump in the lake and leave me alone. I don't care anymore. We all have the yin yang and the positive and negative. We can't be great with everybody, and we can't be negative with everybody. You know who your village is, so to speak. We're down to about 2 minutes. Is there anything you would like to contribute or say before we close the show? You've been an amazing guest. I'd love to have you back sometime.
And I will be welcome to come in. Just let me know.
Of course.
From this point on, and
yeah, it's just coordinating until we could get the time.
And all I want to say is, those that need looking for an edge. I love to play sports and watch sports. And if you're looking for that extra, that one thing that will help you, whether it's your job search or whether it's something to help you get through whatever health issue, something that you're looking for to help you be able to have synergy in your place when you come home. Anything in those, it's not anything to do with your faith, your religion, your belief.
Magic.
It's about getting that edge and saying, okay, this is my secret edge that I'm gonna use to help me get through.
Wicks of Wisdom work like a prescription for your soul.
Whatever I need to reach, this and that. And I still love my God, Jesus Christ, but also this is just another tool that I'm using, and just
it brings it all together as a whole.
All things work to my benefit.
Tony, I want to thank you. We're out of time. I'm going to ask you to stay there. We'll go put you backstage for a moment. This is my client for many years, folks, Tony Flowers. And as you heard from him, he's been doing the candles after watching an infomercial. He's been with me, I guess I'd have to look it up, but it's probably 14 years if it goes way back. But it comes off, I've helped him through life situations and I've gotten to know him, and he had a great story, and we put it together, and here we are. So if you have any questions, contact me at wicksofwisdom.net or lindasalvin.com. And Tony, you have a blessed day. Stay backstage. I'll be right back with you. Everybody will be back soon. This is Dr. Linda Salvin saying goodbye with the Starlight Cafe. And let me help you, lindasalvin.com. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed today's program with Dr. Linda. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.